Hello, everybody. As you're joining us for a very brief Periscope, you are looking at a photograph of myself in, I would say, probably late 1980s or maybe more accurately, the early 1990s. You can see I'm the one on the right, and my associate, Dennis McNulty, who got me into the wedding entertainment industry, is on the left. Yeah, I know. Well, this photo was posted just earlier today by a nonprofit organization that we worked with at that time. Dennis still is part of Catholic Charities in the Diocese of Cleveland, and I was with them for 22 years. But one of the programs that they run for adults with developmental disabilities, or now cognitive disabilities, I guess is the term, was a monthly dance at a community center that we ran in Tremont, a school and community center, I guess you could call it, Our Lady of Angels and St. Joseph Center on West 14th Street in Tremont, where hundreds of adults with developmental disabilities would come every month and enjoy a dance and snacks. And Dennis and I were the disc jockeys, and we would do all kinds of fun stuff with them. And they still do it, actually. So Dennis continues to disc jockey, although he's, I would say, semi-retired from the professional DJ scene, but he does a lot of charity events. Anyway, they are archiving a lot of their material, and they came across this photo that was taken, I would say, in, 1990, 91, 92, something like that. And, yep, that's me on the right in my, I would say, mid-20s. And here I am now. I mean, what happened, right? So, hey, guys, it's great to see you. And I wanted to spend just a few minutes. Yeah, I know. Hide the children. Yes, it's not pretty. I just thought I'd show that photo because I get a kick out of it. That photograph actually is on our website at My Life DJ service, mylifedjonline.com, as in our About page as to how I got involved in the event industry and professional DJ entertainment. And so I have kind of archived it as part of the history of My Life DJ services. And I'm just very happy that I met Dennis, and he was so kind to get me involved in the event industry way back in the early 90s. So I am here today on this Friday, late morning, early afternoon, to answer any questions that folks might have about event planning, and specifically how to find vendors for your wedding if you are engaged in planning a wedding. And this topic is pertinent now because last week and tonight I am participating in a bridal showcase in partnership with Agostino's Catering here in Cleveland. And later this evening I am going to be at, where will I be? Hold on here. One of their 5 locations is Trinity Commons on Euclid Avenue in downtown Cleveland. I don't think I've ever been there before, but I hear it's very beautiful, and they have repurposed that church to be a banquet room, and I know that they have performances there and whatnot. So I'm really excited to see that structure because I am into that kind of thing. I will be there along with a number of other wedding vendors and professionals. I'm sure there will be, Augustino's is providing the food, and cake people, decoration people, wedding dresses, tuxedos, limousine companies, that kind of thing. And it's been many, many years since I've been in the bridal fair or bridal show circuit. And so Dennis and I, in fact, used to do bridal shows in the 90s, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of work. I got out of it for some time, and then Augustino's asked me just recently if I would participate in a couple of their shows, and I said, what the heck? I really like what they're doing with their locations, and they are a premier catering service that I really enjoy working with, along with others. There are some very fine caterers in Northeast Ohio. So if you are watching, yeah, do I ever get nervous if I might ruin someone's day? It is a lot of pressure, and the truth is, sure. I mean, I'll talk about that, but yes, I think there is this. I think it's a good nervous, to be honest with you. Many performers have this tension. It's called eustress, technically speaking, and it is that it's the stress that builds as the event approaches that makes you want to do a good job. I don't overly, worry about it, frankly, because I have a system. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I have a system in place, a routine, where I work with clients before their wedding day to understand what it is that they want to happen, what kind of music do they want, what kind of announcements should I be making for them. We meet and go through, every part of their day. And so by the time their wedding day rolls around, I have a very good idea of what will make me a great disc jockey and MC for my clients. So the more prepared you are in this industry, the less stress you have on the day, although there's always a little bit of stress and mistakes happen and life happens. But I think most clients are just very appreciative of the upfront work and the preparation that goes into it. So if you're in the event industry or if you're in any type of performance industry, preparation and practice is really the key to controlling your stress, and then developing a routine that you use every time that works for you and get comfortable with that routine. I think that's 90% of delivering a great performance. So that's a great question. Yeah, so having trouble seeing you. Well, you're asking about playing music. Yeah, some clients want music played that might not energize the dance floor. That's a great comment and insight and good question. So let me just back up and say that I believe, for the most part, if you engage your client and get input from them about the music they love and they believe their guests will like, and if you play to the best of your ability their stuff, that you're going to be, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a hit and they'll love you. Now, every now and then, and I always tell clients, by the way, that I will honor their request list, but I am also going to be throwing in music that I believe works well with the energy in the room. So when I'm talking with customers, I call them clients, even before they book me, I share with them, our process is this. We're going to ask you for your input in music, because our goal is to play the stuff you love. But I reserve the right to and autonomy to throw in music that I believe will work well with the energy in the room. And almost always the client is okay with that. When they're not, when they say, you know what, Jim, we just want you to play the stuff we give you, and that's it. I tactfully tell them, I'm happy to do that for you, but at this point in time, I need to say I am no longer responsible for the dance floor. And then they kind of look at me oddly and they say, what do you mean by that? You're the disc jockey. And I'll say, well, if you are giving me no autonomy at all, about the music that needs to be played and should be played, I'm happy to do that, but I am not taking responsibility for the dance floor. Are you okay with that? And guess what? Sometimes people are not. And then I share with them, then I guess we're not a good match. You know, guys, if you're in the performance business, you need to be able to tell prospective clients that after chatting, I've discovered that this isn't going to work. This is not a good match. You need another guy. So that is very, very, very rare that happens, but every now and then that does happen. So when clients insist that I play only their music, I say I'm happy to do that, but then you are relieving me of the responsibility of the dance floor. And as long as you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. So that's kind of how I deal with that. But you know what? Almost always, the bride and groom have very good taste in music for what they want to accomplish. So not really a problem. I would say once or twice a year I have an event where I feel really tied to playing music that won't get people up. Hey everybody, thanks for joining. If you're just dropping in, my name is Jim Gepperth and I am a Cleveland area disc jockey, and I was sharing with folks, I showed them a photo earlier of me in the 90s as I was starting my career in DJ entertainment. You can call me Jim if you want. And also that for those in the Cleveland area who are planning a wedding, I will be at a bridal showcase this evening between 5 p.m. and between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. at Trinity Commons at 2230 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland. It's Trinity Commons, 2230 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland, where I, along with many other wedding professionals, will be available for you to chat with, ask questions. It will be fantastic food and beverage there. So if you are interested in doing that, please come by. I'd love to see you. Welcome, everybody. Oh, somebody's sharing. Love it. Give me some questions, comments, and hearts if you enjoy what you're hearing. I can speak generally to the process of planning your event or your wedding, and I can speak specifically to how to put together the music for your evening, how to work with your disc jockey. Is it harder to find new music that is appropriate for all ages? Yes, it's getting more difficult because the stuff that is now on the radio, some of that, which is the clean and edited version of a lot of the original music, even that stuff is kind of racy, if you will. And that's one of the very common concerns of brides and grooms, because you know, at a wedding, you typically have a mix of age groups. You've got grandparents, you've got children sometimes, and ages in between. And a lot of our clients want to know, one, do we have and are we willing to play a variety of music so we're not playing the same stuff all night? So it's not a nightclub. And two, they're fearful that their disc jockey will play something very offensive and just kind of ruin the family feel of the day. So, you know, you have to be careful about what you play and when. So I tend to be a little more conservative earlier in the night. I think most wedding DJs do that because they know early in the evening everybody's there, including grandparents and children. And so kind of play it safe early, and then as the night progresses, as the kids and the grandparents maybe leave, the older folks, that last hour and a half, you can really turn it up a notch and play some of the more modern and maybe, I wouldn't say questionable, because music is all subjective. So some people don't find, you know, the music offensive. But most of our clients want to know that we will respect their wishes and be family friendly for all or most of their wedding reception, play clean edit versions of the contemporary stuff that's out there, and it's pretty easy to do that. I don't find that's difficult. I'll tell you what is difficult. I am doing a father-daughter dance next Friday at an elementary school. And I don't do many school events like that, but people who know me as a disc jockey, or maybe I've DJ'd other events for them and their family or their wedding or whatever, they'll contact me and ask me to do all kinds of stuff for them, and I'm happy to. So imagine a gymnasium full of elementary school girls with their fathers or their uncles or grandfathers, and how do you fill 2 to 3 hours of music with clean but yet modern music? It's not easy. There are disc jockeys who specialize in that type of event, and I follow a couple of them who have lists on their website of clean radio edits that are appropriate for school dances. And so, I put together a set list that works, and then I kind of go back to that. The reality is children are listening to the same stuff their parents are listening to as early as 3, 4, 5 years old. So it's not unusual for toddlers to be parroting the lyrics of, hip-hop, rap, all the stuff that they hear or see on TV. So yeah, exactly. So it is difficult when you're doing stuff for kids, for sure. I have to admit that. Not impossible, but it makes it harder. Because I'm always in my mind, I'm like going through the lyrics of every song, basically, is what you're trying to do to make sure that there isn't a little, time bomb inside the lyrics of these songs where, the parents would look up at me and say, well, what are you playing that for at a, father-daughter dance at an elementary school? What kind of DJ are you? So it does take a little bit of planning to do those types of events. I'm going to show you the website for Agostino's real quick. You guys keep the questions coming. I love it. And this is the group that has been putting on these bridal showcases. The last one they had was at their flagship venue in Brooklyn, Ohio, on the near west side. And so if you wanted to come out and visit me and other wedding vendors, you'll see Trinity Commons, 2230 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland, and we'll be there this evening between 5 and 9 p.m. So very quickly, I'm going to, for viewers who are watching and replay viewers, go through one of the most commonly asked questions that we get from prospective brides and grooms is simply that they have never booked a disc jockey before for anything. They don't have a clue as to what they should be asking. And they don't even really know, aside from someone who will play music, what their disc jockey should provide for them as part of the service. And I really love that our prospective clients are honest with us. It's one of the first things that they say is, we don't even know what questions to ask. We don't even know what you should be giving us in the way of professional disc jockey service. So we put together a short article that you can find at our website at mylifedjonline.com. I'll show it to you real quick. So that's us, My Life DJ Services. On the left-hand column, you'll see a page that says 3 roles of the mobile DJ. 3 rows of mobile DJ. And you'll see the article that we put together. Basically, what should your wedding DJ provide you whether you book us or another company. And so what I tell people is this. Guys, you need to expect 3 things from your wedding DJ. One is the part that you won't see even happening, but it's super important. You are basically hiring a company to deliver a sound system to the site of your venue, to the site of your wedding or your wedding reception. And in that sense, we are delivery people and sound technicians. So we are going to, before you get there, before your guests arrive, we're going to travel to your venue. We're going to set up a sound system. We're going to make sure that it's working, the room sounds good, that the sound is mixed nicely so that it's not too high, it's not too bassy, there's no feedback. And all of that happens before anybody arrives. So we're there with the catering people and the cake people and all the other vendors about an hour and a half to 2 hours prior. And then, of course, at the end of the night, we're taking all of that down. We're dismantling the sound system. We're putting it away. We're packing it up. And you won't see that happen either because you'll be gone by that point. That's a big part of what you're hiring the DJ to do. So you want to make sure that they have experience working with sound equipment and making sure that the room sounds good. The second thing that, which I think is very important that you should expect from your wedding DJ is your wedding DJ should be a resource for you along the lines of helping you plan out your wedding reception. Or if you're needing your DJ for music for ceremony, it could be most of the day if he or she is helping you with ceremony and then the reception that comes after. So some of our days are easily 10, 12 hours long, and that's not even the setup. So we sometimes will put in 12, 14 hours on the day of the event. Welcome, guys. Ask questions if you want. So we share with customers, clients, that your wedding DJ should have a process in place to help you plan your wedding reception. Now, if you are hiring a separate event planner, hey, thanks for the hearts. Love it. If you are hiring a person who will act as a wedding planner or a day of coordinator, that's awesome. And make sure that person connects with all of the other vendors. That person's job is basically coordination among all of the other vendors that you're hiring. But I have to be honest with you, many of our clients, at least in Northeast Ohio, they do not utilize a wedding planner or a day of coordinator if they simply can't afford that. And so by default, your disc jockey, because he or she has the microphone, becomes your partner in planning. Now, we happen to really enjoy helping clients map out their wedding day. We even have software that you can access through our website that helps you create a timeline, select music ahead of time, all kinds of cool stuff. You give us notes and reminders as your MC through this software package, and it really becomes our cheat sheet for your wedding day. We print it all out and bring it with us. So aside from the first role, which is to deliver a sound system to your venue, the second role is to help you plan out your and act as MC for your wedding reception. The MC thing is not rocket science, everybody, but if it's not part of your wedding day, it's noticeable. So acting as MC simply means that your disc jockey is going to occasionally get on the microphone and inform your guests as to what's about to happen next. And that's important because if you've ever been to a wedding reception or any other event where you feel lost, you don't know what's happening next, you're sitting there kind of wondering, what's going on here. That creates a disjointed feel and flow to the event. Whereas if you have an MC who periodically gets on the microphone and makes a quick, very brief and simple announcement that, hey everybody, in just a moment we're introducing our bride and groom and their bridal party, or cake cutting is happening in 10 minutes. Whatever it happens to be, people feel included. And when people feel included, they feel ownership of their own good time. And that is kind of part of our secret sauce to, ensuring that people have fun, is simply in part to include them in what's about to happen next so that they're not missing stuff. And your family members and your friends, they don't, they're there to celebrate with you. They don't want to be in the restroom when you're cutting your cake, or in the parking lot when you're having your first dance. So an MC makes sure that everybody knows what's happening next and feels included in the celebration. Otherwise, you have a disjointed feel and there is no flow to your event. And that's an important role that your disc jockey should play. And what will make them be a fantastic MC for you is, as I said earlier, that they have a process in place to help you plan. Now, it doesn't have to be a software package like we have, but it could be a series of questions. It could be a sit-down meeting. When you're chatting with your prospective disc jockey, ask them what is their process for helping you plan. That's super important, because if they don't have that, that means they're guessing their way through the night, or they've just kind of rejected the role of MC altogether, and they're going to show up and play music, and that's it. Which for non-wedding events might work, but for weddings, that's not going to work for you. The third role that everybody knows yeah, well, we'll talk the price. Can I get that for $200? No. Frankly, you're not going to be able to get that for $200. A lot of folks wonder, why are professional wedding DJs expensive? First of all, cost is a relative thing. People who understand value know that having someone experienced and professional is important. And I'll come back to that in a minute. You must be a disc jockey yourself, or you're in the event industry. The third role for the disc jockeys, what everybody knows that DJs do, is to play music and engage the crowd and make sure there's energy out there in the room and on the dance floor. And there's a whole skill to that as well. Your disc jockey needs to be very observant as to what your guests are doing at the moment, because we are constantly trying to figure out 5, 10, 15 minutes into the future what will keep the energy going. Yeah. If you're a tradesman, yeah. I think in most fields that is absolutely the case. You pay for quality. So those are the 3 roles of your wedding disc jockey. And you can find this very short but I think helpful article at our website at mylifedjonline.com. Click on 3 roles of a mobile DJ, and you'll be able to read specifically through that. I get people who say, why is it so expensive to hire a professional disc jockey? You know what? I've never developed a DJ handle. That's a great question. And I know a lot of DJs have it. Maybe I should work on that, but I'm already 20 plus years into it. I think that's a radio DJ thing, and it's very much maybe a club DJ thing. So what I share with prospective clients when they talk about price is this. Let's chat about how much are you spending on the entire day. If you be honest with me, are you spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or more? And they say, yes, we're spending a good deal of money. And then I say, do you believe that your disc jockey, whoever you choose, if they do a bad job for you, would they ruin your evening? And they say, yes, for sure. In other words, if the DJ is obnoxious and offensive and not honoring your set list, and people are leaving after dinner at 8:30 and 9 o'clock, and you have the hall till midnight, would that be a waste of your $20,000? And people think about it for a moment, and they think, yeah, actually, come to think of it, that would be a waste of our $20,000 if our DJ does a bad job. And now let's go back to what your DJ is asking as their rate. Is it $1,000? Is it $1,200 or $1,500 or whatever? Or are you willing to essentially buy some insurance for a successful evening so that you're not going to waste your $20,000+ to spend a few $100 more on a professional as opposed to a friend of a friend who DJ'd in college? And so when I kind of put it that way, they're like, holy crap, yes. It's so worth it to spend a few $100 more than we thought we might for an experienced pro, because this person has the potential to either make or break our $20,000 day. Then, yeah. So I don't use that line of thinking often with people, but when they ask me straight out about it, and the truth is our prices are not very, I don't think they're expensive, comparable to what other companies are asking. We're very, very much in the middle. Well, you know what? I'm just being honest with people. I don't mean to scare anybody, but I've had clients ask me straight out why, they want to spend a few $100 and why my price point is higher, and I just share with them because, one, I'm going to put in a lot more work than they think I am in preparation, but that's not the answer that moves people, to be honest with you. They don't really care what work you have to do. What moves people is what is the cost of an awful wedding night? What is the cost of an awful wedding night? And it is kind of frightening to think about it, but if your disc jockey doesn't show up, if your DJ shows up drunk, if your DJ doesn't have any notes or preparation, if your DJ does not honor your wishes and plays offensive music all night, yeah, you're basically throwing out a lot of money, and people will leave early. Yeah, and a lifetime of regret. So when I tactfully explain that to folks, they get it. All right, last questions before I have a lot of stuff to do this afternoon, but I just wanted to check in and share with viewers and replay viewers that I will be participating in a bridal showcase this evening between 5 and 9 here in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. That is sponsored by Augustino's Catering. Jimmy Jam. You know what? I'm going to think about that. Riz, I don't know what your first name is. DJ Jimmy Jam. That might work. Augustino's Catering. And this evening I'm going to be at Trinity Commons on 2230 Euclid Avenue in Cleveland. And so there will be brides and grooms and their families coming out to chat with wedding vendors. It's a lot of fun. And I know Augustino's well enough to know they're going to bring a ton of delicious food. So if you are able to come on out, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, this is Jim Gepperth from My Life DJ Services. If you just came on at the tail end, I'm so sorry you missed most of it, but do catch the replay. I shared with folks the 3 main responsibilities of your wedding disc jockey and what types of questions to ask when you're chatting with prospective disc jockeys. And I hope you found the discussion informative. And maybe I'll see you this evening at the Bridal Showcase at Trinity Commons in downtown Cleveland. Take care.